You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey, Big Brother fans, we have got some spoilers on who Week 2 head of household Jimmy plans to nominate in the reveal of 3 startling new powers unleashed in BB27 during the latest comp, which looked to be the in-the-dark black box kind of combo comp. Everybody got banged up. A lot of people are talking about their injuries. It's Belinda. If you haven't clicked subscribe, please do that. Hit like while you're at it. Feeds were down for almost 12 hours yesterday. Came back up about 3 a.m. Friday morning. So pretty exhausting because I was clock watching and waiting 3 a.m. Eastern. But it was worth it because Jimmy won the head of household power and immediately started figuring out who he wanted to target. And in the aftermath of the eviction vote, 2 people lied about how they voted for 2 different reasons. So Keanu told Jimmy and others that he voted to evict Zae, which is a big fat lie. And then Reilly told Keanu he voted to evict Amy when he didn't. He voted to evict Zae. Looks like Reilly flipped on the men because Katherine wanted him to. And, you know, he's playing to help her win at this point. Reilly told Katherine, it was like a day or so ago, it's a blur, that he's all about her, wants to watch her win it all, changed his vote to what she wanted. And I saw somebody on X saying Reilly was doing Katherine's laundry. If so, good for her, but I didn't clock that for myself. Reilly can barely do his own. Also, Katherine, you know, doesn't know this, but Reilly's apparently got a baby daughter on the way who's going to be born while he's in the house to a woman who doesn't want to talk to him because she said he just wants to drink and chase women. So hopefully Katherine's just taking advantage and not really taking him up on any offers. All right, back to actual Big Brother. 3 new powers were awarded during the HOH comp. Looks like you could just grab them if you came upon them. And that means 4 powers are at play right now, at least, because Zach has that 10K chopping block buyback power where he can take himself down if he gives up the cash. Let's talk about the new powers that came into play as Jimmy snagged the HOH key. I'm sure there's going to be more details on the powers, so this info is from overnight on the live feeds and more chatter this morning, and as I find out more, I will update. Power number 1, an HOH takeover, a coup d'etat. So it was Mickey who earned this head of household takeover power during the comp last night. As of now, she's only told Morgan about it. And of course, she is keeping Mickey's secret, but you never know. It's only been a few hours. Hopefully she won't blab. She seems smart. Here's how it works. Mickey plays that, takes over head of household, but there's a little twist because the reigning HOH gets to interrogate everybody in the house. And if they figure out that Mickey took over their head of household, then she is outed to the whole house. Her power expires before jury. I'm assuming the other 2 wouldn't do as well. The upside to Mickey telling Morgan is that she could help her out and mislead the HOH who's being overtaken and try to get them to guess that it's her, which would leave Mickey in the clear. I do like them conspiring like this. Also funny, Rachel told Morgan she thinks one of the powers is an HOH takeover, but Morgan played it off and said she doesn't think so when she 100% knows it is and Mickey has it. Power number 2 is an extra veto power. Kelley said that production told her she can't talk about her power, so it's like Fight Club, which is pretty interesting because it seems like she might have been the only one of the 3 that got a power that also got the caveat she can't really talk about it. Kelley told Jimmy she can't say much, only it's veto related. The guess about it being an extra veto is basically just that, a guess based on kind of speculation from the house guests talking about what the powers mean. Also, Kelley hinted that her veto power isn't one that she currently possesses, so it looks like she can earn it. Kind of reminds me of either a Survivor Beware advantage. I think it'd be fun if there was a penalty if she didn't earn it. That could be cool. Otherwise, you know, it could be like last year in Junkie with a mini comp and Kelley has to play to win a tiny POV. Power number 3, double the veto, it sounds like. So a third power that household chatter indicates could be about getting 2 shots to win the power of veto is in a third person's hands. Zach told Jimmy and Morgan Keanu has a power, but Jimmy thinks that Will has that third power and is lying. Jimmy's wrong. Rachel cornered Keanu in the storage room this morning, not only about his vote, which he is still lying about. At this point, by the way, literally everybody in the house knows Keanu lied about his vote, and he totally thinks he got away with it. And Rachel is certain he's got a power, but he keeps denying it. But then Keanu turned around and admitted to Kelley, yes, indeed, he does have a power. And then Keanu also told Kelley, even if he's nominated, he won't use his power because he thinks he can just win his way out of it. And apparently the power pieces had a very distinct feeling to them, and the house guests got to touch them blindly. Lauren said she touched one that felt like an hourglass. Maybe that was a rewind sort of power. I don't know. We'll find out more. So also got to consider that on top of these three powers and Zach's, Amy might have some chance to earn an advantage or power working with the mastermind. You know, her first reward was getting to officially come into Big Brother. And we know the Masked Menace mastermind is back in the house, so Amy's work may not be done. Jimmy plans to put up Keanu and Kelley and Adrian this week with the eye on Adrian, beating them on comps, staying safe, and either Kelley or Keanu going home. And that's also smart if they suspect both Keanu and Kelley have powers, since it could flush them out. Jimmy said Kelley's going on the block because she said she was going after Rachel if she won HOH, which is accurate. But Jimmy's main target for eviction is Keanu, who says he won't use his power. I think I would like to see him go out with it in his pocket. That's always fun. And Jimmy definitely wants Keanu to go home. A lot of other house guests would be pleased with that. Jimmy's currently working with a group that includes Rachel, Katherine, Ashley, Vince, Lauren, Mickey, Zach, and Morgan. This group all concluded that Keanu lied to Jimmy about his vote. That didn't sit well with him. As I said, pretty much everybody knows he lied. Also, Morgan and Mickey talked about wanting to keep Rachel up until jury, but they know they can't keep her until the end. I mean, it's smart in one way for Morgan and Mickey to keep her because Rachel is an aggressive meat shield, basically. But keeping her too long and thinking you can control when you get Rachel Reilly out is a fool's game. She can be quite hard to evict. You know, in BB13, after Brendan went out, she won, or during the run, but mostly towards the end, she turned into this beast. She won 4 HOHs, 2 power of vetoes that season, and in every single one of Rachel's Big Brother 13 head of households, the person she wanted out went. And that's why I don't know why Zae decided to tangle with a tiger. I honestly think he just really doesn't know that much about the game. They tried to make it sound like there were more people that were in the know, and I don't think that's true, because in some of his exit interviews, he said a couple of things that were ludicrous. He said going after Rachel was his best move. Well, it was like his only move, and it was his last move. And that kind of, was ridiculous. And then he revealed total ignorance for her gameplay because Zae said in another interview, it was sad to see a Big Brother legend act the way she was. I mean, that was Rachel being Rachel. That's all she's acted like. This is nothing new. So that leads me to think Zae just doesn't know anything about it.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.